How's everyone doing? Welcome to the channel. So right now, today, right here, we have the Dynamite 28, which is in the Losi 8 truggy. And I just found out earlier today that we had no compression. Now I can tell you exactly what happened. The piston was stuck at top dead center because when I went to pull the cord, I didn't record it, but the first time I pulled the cord on that motor, it made like a snapping noise. And it was actually at top dead center, so it got very hot, and then had a chance to cool down. With the piston all the way at the top, it did the opposite of a pinch. It actually unpinched the motor because it got so hot. So I'm gonna try to do something. Let's see. Hold on. I've had these hanging up here for a while. So I'm gonna try to do something. I've never done this before, but this motor otherwise is pretty much garbage if we don't do something. So we're gonna take these out over here and we're gonna try some stuff today. We're gonna try to learn something today. The worst that could happen is it still has no compression, but it don't have no compression right now. So you know, kind of one of those situations. What are you gonna do? You gotta make the best of it. So we're not gonna accept not having no compression. We're not going to accept that. So that's what we're going to do. It's the same day that I made the video on earlier today of trying to start this up. I actually have like 20 minutes of footage trying to start this up. And hold on. The freaking the head is loose. Swear to you guys. Swear to you on my life, I didn't check this out before I did this. I didn't check this out before I started recording just now. So I gotta see if I can get these screws out. I actually had my driver set out because I was gonna try to unscrew the screws from here. Then I realized I have a metric driver set and I don't even have a standard size driver set right now. So I don't even know if I have a long enough Allen wrench to reach down in here right now. Oh yeah, so all of these screws are loose. Oh man, so I've never seen that before. You guys see that? The whole I had so many RPM going that I don't know if you guys can see that little bit of movement. Hold on. This is real-time action here. You guys see that little bit of movement? So I grabbed the head and I was like, let me check, make sure this thing is, you know, the motor mounts are still tight or whatever, and the freaking head is loose. So, I don't know, man. Been having some crazy stuff happening now. I've never seen that happen before. I might need to take a pair of pliers and go around and do this. I don't know if we're gonna get any compression back because didn't feel like there was much compression, you know, beforehand. But we're gonna find out right now, I guess. So if I post this video, that means that we fixed this by doing this. I might still post this with the video of what I was gonna try to do, even if this doesn't work. But I did not see this coming. I didn't check this out before. Like I said, I don't check anything out before I do the video. Like I try to just do it as it goes. I try to like record it. Can't get this one in for some reason. Let's try this one. Over here, I might have already tightened this out. My like head is like, what just happened? The freaking the head was loose. Gotta get some view on here for you guys. If I could see through the phone, I could probably see it real time. There we go. I don't know. I gotta get a driver set that's that size. Oh shoot! That's better than it was. I'm gonna try to start that. Better than it was. So what's the worst that can happen? It don't start. Don't start already. It already don't start. So what's the worst I could lose? Don't start again. Come on, baby. Come on, Losi. Don't let me down now. Don't let me down now. Sound like she's gonna go for a second. There you go. Thing has a broken clutch spring. See, the clutch is not that happy. See, we got a dead clutch spring or whatever, so we got to pull the engine anyway, which pretty much sucks. But hey, it's alive, so that's crazy, man. So thing felt like it lost all compression because the head screws was loose, man. I never touched this motor since I've owned it for 3 years. I've never had the head off. I've never, since I've owned this car, since this engine was brand new, the head has never been removed to this day. So that's the reason I never checked the head bolts. Was I was thinking, oh yeah, they'd be tight from the factory. Why would I need to check the freaking head bolts if they're tight? So I was wondering why there was nitro fuel spraying out over here before. So what I'm gonna try to do now is this kind of sucks because all I have is this little Allen keys. I don't have the correct size driver for this, you understand? So what can I do to make this easier? Let's do this. Okay. All right. Let's do this. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Just being myself, I guess. There you go. We're gonna use some obnoxiously long, extra long pliers here to take this out. But I can't even get the freaking thing in there, so it ain't gonna work. I need like a real driver, guys. I need like driver like this, but with this in place. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I got a welder. I don't know. This is crazy. I'm trying to do it like this. This ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work out. I don't want to remove these mounts. So let's take the head button off for the first time since I've owned this motor, since it came loose anyway. Might as well open it up and clean it now, because if it opened up anyways, might as well open it up and inspect it. Let's check out the condition of it. didn't want to start up when I first went for the gusto, so I have 20 minutes of me pulling the cord on this on video where nothing was happening. And I was just like, I'm not going to show these guys 20 minutes of me pulling the cord and nothing happening, so I'm just going to show you what I thought happened, because this thing did get to like 300-400 degrees. So I wanted to show you guys that, I don't know, I thought the high oil content actually did something at the time, so that's why I said that. So, you know, what are you gonna do? I didn't think the head button was loose. So we're gonna see the condition of this motor right now. After all of that abuse, 3 years of trying to drive this thing as fast as I could drive it for 3 years. This has had the leanest tune that it would hold for 3 years straight. And when I went to start it before, I also didn't upload the video that the glow plug in this was also totally did not light up no more or nothing. So here's the head. First time this has ever been off of this particular engine. It's never been off. 3 years. That's because I don't like messing with stuff that works. So here we go. I put a new glow plug in already, so that's why the glow plug looks so nice. But the glow plug was actually the color of this head button, which is all discolored from having too much oil. And you guys can clearly see where all the let me get you guys in close. Hold on. You guys gotta see this. The whole engine is wet around here from fuel shooting out, and that is the only nitro that is all leaked out around the engine. Was the head was loose. So the piston and sleeve actually look beautiful. Other than that, I think this discoloration is from the discoloration is from the oversaturation of the oil inside this motor. So she is in totally mint. Looks like mint condition all the way around. Let me shine the flashlight in there so you guys can really see what's going on here, my friends. So the sleeve is totally mint, no scoring, no nothing. It's a little bit of scoring right there, but I think that just happened just now when dirt just fell in the engine because I took the head off. So before I put that piston up and down anymore, I'm going to take this nice clean microfiber and just do like this all around here and remove this from the area. Try to wipe out and away from the sleeve if you're ever working on something like this. Only wipe away. Do not hold the piece that you just wiped with over the sleeve again, because you don't want to drop any material into the engine. So this engine is mint. Look at that, 3 years of use, and pretty much brand new still. So we're gonna clean this up real quick. Man, I wish I knew this earlier today. I would have worked on this right away. Instead, I took the buggy out in the snow because I thought this thing was done for. I thought this thing was toast. I was actually going to take this and I was going to try to re-squeeze it, but no message. It's not necessary. So we're not going to do that. You know, it's not dead, but it's not it still makes that pop suction sound on the way down. So it's gonna run, and she's gonna run good. She's got a brand new glow plug in here. I'm gonna wipe this down real quick, and we'll put this back together and see how she runs after we wipe it down. See if she still runs again after I now took it apart for no reason after I fixed it. So I don't have any brake cleaner, so I'm actually not even going to spray that on here. There you go, I sprayed on it by accident. You can clearly see around the around this head button is all soaked with oil that's been leaking out for a while. So this thing's been leaking for a while, and it still held a tune perfectly fine. You see that? This motor was the head was loose on it, and the carburetor is so good that it still held a tune even with the head button loose. This must have vibrated loose from all of those RPMs at full throttle, you know, probably, because like I told you guys, I broke this in the winter. You guys can go back to when I started making videos few years back, and some of the first videos on this channel are of me breaking this in my shed, in this shed, when the shed was all full of stuff in the middle of the winter time. I was doing idle tanks on this. Pretty sure I did 10 tanks back then. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did 10. I idled 10 tanks through this back years ago when I first started doing YouTube videos. And if you guys go back to my channel and you go on my videos and you go back to the second video that's ever on my channel, the second video that I ever posted is a Volcano S30, which is an HSP 94188. It's the exact same car, and it has a Kyosho KE15 engine on there, and I was running Byron's fuel. I believe it was something like 20%, and the idle on that engine, I've still never heard an engine idle better than that truck. So if you guys want to hear a really crazy, super duper perfect idle, the Kyosho engines have held the best idle of any RC that I've ever had. So I dropped one of the head screws on the ground, so that's awesome. We got a great start. Dropped the head screws right on the floor. So yeah, we're gonna get this puppy singing again. So I guess this has been leaking for a while. You guys can clearly see all the stuff all over this. So it's not like this just happened. This has been leaking for a little bit. The screws have been backing themselves out, and I haven't been checking them because I was like, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But finally did not start for us. I'm glad I tried to start this up before I went out to the street like I did the other day. I went all the way out front with the stuff. Brought the glow igniter, brought the whole toolbox with me and everything. And when I went to go start up whatever nitro it was that I was trying to run, it wouldn't start up. So that was funny. I was like, oh yeah. Look at this. Oh, that was the Duratrax. I went out there with the Duratrax, and the Duratrax wouldn't fire off. And then when it did fire off, it ran like a freaking wasn't holding a tune. So there's one of two things going on with that Duratrax. I mean, there's two things going on. It doesn't have that much compression, and then I'm not sure if the carburetor is good. So if you don't have a good carburetor, you know, the stuff is not going to run good. Like I have that small block that I built from those from the HPI engine and the Duratrax, I believe it's the .15 engine, something like that. Has the piston and sleeve from that in it. And let me just say that motor runs perfect with the Tamiya carburetor, okay? But the other two carburetors, like the Duratrax carburetor that piston and sleeve came from, and the carburetor from the RS4, the original carb from the RS4, that motor would not take a tune with those carburetors because those carburetors are no good. Okay, so sometimes you can have a good engine and it won't run because you have a bad carburetor, okay? And that is the problem I have with my my Traxxas rustler. Is I even bought a brand new Chinese carburetor for the Traxxas rustler, thinking that okay, I have a it's a Chinese carburetor, but brand new, it should still take a tune, right? It should still, you guys can clearly see that I absolutely 1000% know what I'm doing as far as tuning. So I am not the problem, okay? So I can tell you how to tune a proper carburetor, okay? But if you don't have a proper carburetor to start with, doing any kind of tuning is going to be completely useless. It's going to be useless, totally completely useless, doing anything with the screws on a bad carburetor. So that is the reason I been staying away from using the rustler, is because I bought a brand new carburetor for it, and it's a Chinese carburetor, so it's not a Traxxas carburetor, but it is a Chinese carburetor. But I can tell you I have the original Traxxas carburetor, and it does the exact same thing as that Chinese carburetor. So I guess the problem is laying in the carburetor itself, because I can make it look like it takes a tune, okay? I can pretend that it takes a tune, because you know, I could tune the low end rich enough where it will single stage idle, but the whole mixture will be super extremely rich, because the idle screw in the carb, when you back the idle screw all the way out, the carb does not keep closing. It leaves like a freaking, almost like a 1/4 inch idle gap. So you can't really put a race tune on it and get it to single stage idle. At least, you know I'm not the problem. So obviously the carburetor is the problem. So you could probably swap, you know, one of those 11K carburetors on there, okay? But that's a lot of money. That's like $100 for a carburetor, and you could probably get a whole engine for like 120, a different type of motor to put on there. So, you know, I don't understand how people are like extremely, you know, I know Traxxas is one of the only companies that still makes a lot of nitros. I'm just gonna say I would really appreciate it if they just put a decent carburetor on there. And I mean, if a dynamite.28, which is supposedly like a low end motor, will hold the race tune and idle perfectly and everything else, why can't a big company like Traxxas put on a carburetor that'll make their product do the same thing? Because I'm doing the exact same thing to the Traxxas as I'm doing to this, and there's just no you can't do nothing with it. What are you supposed to do? You know, I'm not gonna lie to you, tell you, oh yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I definitely know what I'm doing. So 1000% for sure, I can tell you that much. 1000% for sure. So I tell you, I'm not the problem. So I'm not hating Traxxas. I'm just saying, if you want to learn how to tune, get something else. Otherwise, you're going to be not having a good time. I can tell you that much. hit the subscribe button.